Good evening, everyone. In the previous session of Management of Financial Services, I explained about the factors which has a major influence over the capital structure decision. There are around 17 factors which I have already mentioned, but I explained around 12 factors. So first of all, in this session, I am going to explain the remaining 5 factors, and then I am going to explain the 5 major principles which are considered while taking decision regarding capital structure. So let's begin the session. Another factor which has a major influence over the decision regarding capital structure is the period of finance. It simply means for how long a particular amount of fund is required and for what time period they are supposed to raise that amount of fund. So this is considered to be very important, because if period of finance is not considered by the management, then they may take such decision which may not prove to be beneficial. For example, an organization requires finance for around 20 years or for more than 20 years. They want a very long-term finance. So what should be a better source of finance, debenture or equity? In this case, if the organization goes for debenture or debt financing, what will be its consequence? They have to pay interest for 20 years to the debenture holders. So this may not prove to be beneficial. So if the organization requires finance for a very long time period, it is better to go for equity financing, because it is a permanent source of finance. The rate of dividend is also not fixed. It depends upon the profit. So it is better to go for equity finance. But when the fund is required for a short time period, like 7 years or 8 years or 10 years, then the organization may go for debt financing. Equity financing may not be a good choice in this scenario. So the period of financing is very important while deciding the capital structure mix. The next factor which has influence over the capital structure decision is cost of flotation. First of all, what is cost of flotation? See, whenever some kind of securities are issued or shares are issued, debentures are issued, they involve certain kinds of cost, like registration, certain kinds of formality. So those are included those are included in cost of flotation. So whenever an instrument is issued by any organization, they have to bear some kind of cost, formalities, registration or underwriting. So there are various types of cost, and each and every instrument has different amount of cost of flotation involved in it. And there are also restrictions by SEBI regarding the issue of funds, regarding the rules and regulations, what should be the proper procedure of issuing shares and other things. So all these things must be considered while deciding the capital structure. For example, if an organization issues equity shares, the cost of flotation is higher if we compare the cost of flotation of debenture. So debenture has less cost of flotation in comparison to equity shares. So companies who want to have less cost of flotation, they would go for debenture financing. Or if they do not give so much importance to cost of flotation, or they require some kinds of funds for a longer time period, then they will go for the equity shares. And there are also restriction regarding the total number of equity shares are issued and the total amount of cost involved in that. So whenever an organization issues such kind of instrument, they need to take care of all the rules, regulations and formalities. So this cost of flotation is also very important while taking decision regarding capital structure mix. Okay. The next one is personal consideration. Personal consideration is about the point of view and different aspects of the management. what kind of finance is considered to be appropriate from the point of view of the management. Usually management would like to work without any pressure from the owners, that is the equity shareholders. So some management prefer to have less control in the managerial decisions, less control of equity shareholders in the operations of the organization. So they prefer to go for debt financing or debentures. But there are certain types of organization who encourage the involvement of equity shareholders. They do not give much importance of dilution, they do not give much importance to, or when equity shareholders get involved in other aspects of the organization, so they can go for equity financing. Even preference shares can be also issued. So everything depends upon the point of view, the perspective of the management which is about to manage the entire organization. Their opinion, their consideration, their opinion, like I said, their opinion, point of view, and their and how they're supposed to manage the organization. There's because they are the people who are going to manage the organization, so their opinion must be considered before taking any kind of decision regarding the capital structure mix. The next one is corporate tax rate. So whenever an organization earns profit, there must be some kind of tax imposed on it. So higher the amount of profit means obviously the taxable income will be, when the taxable income is higher, the tax rate is also higher. So if the organization do not want to pay higher amount of tax, they prefer to go for debentures, because whatever amount of interest they pay is deductible from the taxable income or the profit which the organization has earned, the taxable deducted from the taxable income of the organization. So they prefer to go for debt financing or debentures. But if because the dividends, if the organizations pay dividend to preference shareholders, to equity shareholders, that dividend is not taxable from the corporate side. It is taxable from the point of view of the people who earn the dividends, not the corporates, not the companies. So interests are deductible from taxable income, but interests are deducted from the taxable income, but dividends are not deducted from the taxable income. So that may be the reason behind going for debenture and not going for equity shares or preference shares. So the corporate tax rate also play a major role in preparation of the capital structure. Okay. And the last point or the last factor which influence the capital structure decision is the legal requirements. So legal requirements means whenever the organization is created, it is registered and all that, they have to follow the rules, regulations and the legal framework within which it has to operate. And there are also legal framework for the issue of shares, debentures and everything. So whenever they are deciding the capital structure, they must have proper understanding of this legal framework within which they have to issue preference share, equity share and debenture. So according to that, they create their capital structure. Because like I said, there are cost of flotation, there is different cost of flotation in debenture and equity share. In the same way, there are different rules and regulations for the issue of debentures and issue of equity shares. So they need to consider all the factors, and whichever factor is more favorable for the organization, whichever source of fund is favorable for the organization from the point of view of legal restrictions, they would go for that kind of source of fund. So they will create a capital structure based on the legal requirements created by the authorities. Okay. So these are the factors which influence the decision regarding the capital structure. Okay. The next topic is the principles of capital structure. So these are the points like cost principle, risk principle, control, flexibility and timing. These are also factors, the important factors, but why they are considered as principles? Because they have to be considered while taking the capital structure decision, because they play a very important role in the organization. And if any of these principles are not considered, then they will not have a proper capital structure, and the organization may have some kind of, they may have to face some kind of adverse situation, difficult situation in the future. So these are the 5 principles which has influence over the, which are considered to be very important for capital structure decision. The first one is cost principle. Like I said in the previous session, there is always cost involved in raising finance. What type of cost? Like I said, floating cost is one type of cost, and another one is the cost of capital. Cost of capital here is actually means that the total amount of interest or dividends the organization is supposed to pay to the suppliers of the funds. So the ideal capital structure is one which actually minimizes the total cost of capital, the cost of raising fund. Suppose you want money for around 10 lakh, around 10 lakh or 20 lakh rupees, and you have selected that source of finance which has the highest rate of interest, which means the cost of capital, the cost of raising fund is very high in comparison to other sources. So this must be considered while deciding the source of finance. So here like I said, that if the interest rate is very high, then what does it mean? They have to pay more amount of interest to the debenture holders, and this interest rate may vary depending upon the present or the different kinds of interest rate created or present in the market. So that has major influence over the cost of capital. And another factor which influence, like I said in the previous point, the tax rates. If the tax rates are very high, they have to pay high amount of tax on their taxable income. Organization would prefer to go for debentures because interest paid on debentures are deducted from the taxable income. So they get some kind of relief in the payment of tax. So that also contributes to the cost of capital. Clear? It does not contribute, but it reduces the cost of capital. So this cost principle need to be considered while creating a proper capital structure, because it may have some kind of future effects in the near future. Because if they have raised finance or they have obtained finance by using a source of finance which has highest cost of capital, then they have to regularly pay interest, and it actually becomes very expensive for the organization. So this cost principle is followed, or we can say that these are the basic foundations on which the capital structure are based. Okay. The next point is risk principle. So whenever an organization decides to raise finance, definitely there is some kind of risk, some degree of risk involved in it. So here in this situation, what kind of risk is involved? Here it says that the capital structure should be devised in such a way that the degree of risk is very low. So how risk is associated with capital? I'll give an example. An organization has issued debentures around a particular, like 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, they have issued debentures. And what is the basic element of debentures? The interest rate. They have fixed interest rate in debenture, which are supposed to be paid on a regular time, like on a yearly basis. The interest needs to be paid to the debenture holders. But what if the organization do not earn good amount of profit, or very less profit, or during many years? So they are supposed to pay the interest to the debenture holders. So that creates a burden on the organization. This is one kind of risk, because when an organization goes for debt financing, there is a risk that there are chances they won't be able to pay interest to the, they won't have that amount of fund to pay interest to the debenture holders. And if the organization do not earn good amount of profit, then what will happen? There will be problem in the payment of interest. And when an organization is not able to pay interest or not able to pay its debt, automatically the share price of such organization will come down. It will decrease. It will also affect the market price of the shares. So it will create a difficult situation for the organization. So better to consider the risk principle before creating a capital structure mix. So the regular payment of interest involves risk during the time of low profits. So keeping that in mind, the organization can go for equity financing also, because in equity financing the dividends are not fixed. It depends upon the profit earned. They also get the dividend based on the residual income. So if the organization who do not want to have high risk in their organization, they go for equity shares. And organization who are okay with high level of risk, who consider high level of who do not consider high degree of risk, they can go for debt financing. But this principle must be considered. Okay. The next point here is control principle. Control here means that the controlling position of the owners, the equity shareholders. If the organization does not want the controlling position of the owners to get diluted, they would go for debt financing or debenture. They would go for debenture. They would not issue equity share. For example, there are already 10,000 equity shares. So those equity shareholders are the real owners of the organization of the company. And above that, they issue another 5,000 of equity shares, which are also which can be purchased by anybody. It actually means that the power of the owner is actually diluted. Clear? So that becomes a major problem for the equity shareholders. So some equity shareholders do not want more number of equity shares to be the part of the capital structure, because that will dilute their power over the organization. That would dilute the control of the equity shareholders, control of the owners over the organization. So because the issue of equity shares dilutes the control of existing shareholders, it may also have effect on the earning per share. Okay. So like I said that issue of more number of equity share will dilute the controlling power of the residual or the equity shareholders. Issue of preference share is not going to affect that. So organizations can go for a preference shares and debt financing. But if they raise a large amount of money from preference shares and debt financing, there won't be a proper balance. So what the organization, what the management is supposed to do, they have to strike a balance between these types of financing, so that there is no excessive equity, uh, so that there is no excessive debt financing or there is no excessive equity financing. So they need to strike a balance between these different types of source of financing, so that there will be proper control. They won't lose control, and the management can also work properly under this type of situation. Okay. So the next point is flexibility principle. So why does a capital structure is supposed to be flexible? Because there are always major changes that take place. The government sets up new types of rules and regulations. New types of restrictions can come also. So this makes it very difficult for the organization to stick to some of the source of finance. They must include variety of source of finance, so that they can adjust according to any kind of change. If one source of finance becomes expensive, if the cost of capital is very high for one source of finance, they must be capable of easily switching to another source of finance with less cost of capital. So that kind of flexibility is very important in the capital structure. That's why the capital structure can be designed in such a way that it allows the management to use all the sources of finance, and whenever they need some kind of additional finance, they can use any type of finance. Even if they are not using some of the source of finance at present, they must be made, the capital structure must be made so flexible, so that the management can use any type of finance in future when they require additional fund. So that kind of structure must be created in the organization, a flexible structure in which different varieties or sources of finance can be used, and whenever there is an adverse situation, they can use the best source of finance which has less cost of capital, which is more suitable to the organization. Okay. So the next point, the last type of principle is the timing principle. So why time is so much important in an organization? You all are already aware that opportunities do not come all the time. An organization, a management must be alert to take advantage of such opportunities so that they can become successful, they can grow and expand. So that's why timing is very important. A decision must be taken at the right time to get advantage of different opportunities. So that's why it is an important principle in the capital structure decision. Okay, so like I said, it is very important because it helps the organization to take market opportunities and minimize the cost of capital while issuing or while raising some kinds, while raising finance for the purpose, for the requirement of the organization. So in the situation, in the period of boom, where the market is very stable, it is increasing, the price of the shares are increasing, so investors are more interested in investing in the equity shares, because the market price of the shares are increasing, they can get a higher amount of capital gain, they can also get higher amount of dividend because they are the equity shareholders. So when the market situation is very good, when the market situation is moving upward, the prices of the shares, the market price of the shares are increasing, so it is better for the organization to raise fund through equity shares. But at the time of depression, where the market is not so stable, there are fluctuations in the market, it is going into a depression, or the equity, the price of the shares are decreasing, then during that time it is better to go for debenture or debt financing, because they have fixed rate of interest, and it will also give a boost to the organization at that time period. Because in this situation, if they go for equity financing, there are chances that people won't be interested to buy the shares because the market is going down, it is not stable. So during that situation, it is always a better choice to go for debt financing. That's why timing principle needs to be considered while taking the decision, while creating the capital structure. Okay. So these are the basic principles on the basis of which the capital structure is created, and they play a very important role, because if these principles are not considered, definitely they would, an organization won't be able to create a capital structure which may not be idle, but to some extent it supports the management, it considers the market situation, at the same time it gets benefit to the management as well as the investors. Okay, so that's it for today. In the next session, I'm going to explain about new issue market, what are the various functions of new issue market, what are the merits, demerits, and these what is new issue and everything. I'm going to explain about that topic in my next session. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.